Double XL up in the paint, you can't shake that. All the way gassed up, full tank, man. Moving too quick, keep the cameras in the playback. Tank, so tell me how you feel with it. You put a lid on it, I ain't got no chill with it. This right here your problem, you gon' have to deal with it. Lay it on the line, high risk, that's the meal ticket. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back. No lies, no facts. We gon' stay right where we at. We ain't never fall back. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. We ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. Been way down, never vaulted. Came with the hands out, get them off us. I'm 24/7 in the office. Pay attention cause I ain't repeating offers. Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Careful, whatever you bring me getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need to hassle. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. We ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back. We ain't never fall back.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Let's go.
Good morning, Fin fans. That's right. This is TFTG's Top of the Tailgate. I'm your host, Ali the Persian, and we have a good show for you this morning. How's everybody doing today, right? It is Thursday, 6:05 in the morning. I got my co-host in the back already. It's going to be fun. But before we get started, let's do the rundown real quick. Make sure you check out some of our other shows we got coming up here. We have El Capitan with Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sundays too, calling the game. He's going to be at the game. Everybody's going to be at the game. I don't know who's calling the show on Sunday. But, you know, we will figure that out. And then you got Coffee and a Cup of Color with myself and on Top of the Tailgates, you know, and going on every other show and doing shows all over the place. You can also check out Shake Money and Lewis with the drive times, the smoke lounges. Lewis, you can check on the spaces and everywhere else included. And then you got KP with the fantasy talk. This week's fantasy is going to be very interesting to me. Do I pull it to 500? That is the question. We will find out here. And then you got Crypto doing Mondays and Thursdays, you know, and all the other shows that we do. And then we got Tonk's TMI Tuesdays. Let's not forget about Tonk. Tonk has some really good content. You should check out his show sometime. Make sure you hit like and subscribe because we got a lot of content coming your way. And then in addition, you know, shout out to our members that are out there, right? Let's say you like the content. Let's say you want more of it, right? Maybe you want exclusive content, stuff that nobody else can see, right? Check out becoming a member. We got 3 different memberships. We have Amigos, Familia, and MVP. I want to say Amigos is like $2 and change per month. It's really inexpensive. helps out keep the content afloat, gives you guys exclusive content. Shout out to all of our members that are out there. We really appreciate you. And then in addition, if you want to donate to the channel, but you don't necessarily want to become a member, we always accept Cash App, Venmo, Super Chat, Super Stickers. We really appreciate you. So thank you, everybody in the chat. Definitely thank you. And then don't forget our affiliates. We got Fanatics, officially licensed everything. Use the link below, right? It tells Fanatics that we sent you, gives us some credit for sending you over there. But you definitely get all the same deals, amazing stuff over there. So definitely check out Fanatics. You can get your officially licensed hats, jerseys, memorabilia, soon to be NFL trading cards, right? That Fanatics has the deal for that, so shout out to them. So definitely check out what they have. They have some always throwing out good deals, to be honest. And then in addition, check out Backroom Collection. Maybe you remodeling your house, office space, man cave, sports room, and you want to hang something unique. Check out Backroom Collections with their canvas artwork. They got some really cool stuff and whatnot. So definitely check them out. And last but not least, you're going to need all this energy, right? To keep up with all the content we're throwing out. Check out Doobie Energy Drink. It's all smash, no crash. You don't get that jittering or crashing like you do with some of the other energy products that are out there. They have a variety of good flavors. If you don't take my word for it, check out Shake Money. He's done some video reviews on it. He can tell you about it, and I know some other people in the chat like it as well. So check out Doobie Energy Drink. They're infused with a lot more vitamins, from my understanding, that are that benefit the body primarily, versus some of the byproducts that are not so good. So definitely check them out. So check out all the links below. Check out tftgnetwork.com. There is a one-stop shop for TFTG everything. We got articles. We got our merch store that's infused with a lot of cool stuff that was inspired by everybody in the chat. So shout out to them. Meanwhile, I'm going to bring up my co-host here. And we're going to play his theme music, because he knows, we all know what he likes. And where are you? Here you are. What is going on, Color? How you doing?
Good morning.
All right, I don't know what you did, Color. I'm not sure what you did. Like, you sound like you're a machine talking to us on a walkie-talkie, driving a truck or something.
Driving a truck. Wow.
Yeah, you may have to go in and come back in.
Right,
Try go in and come back in.
All right, hold on. I'll do better.
No worries. Meanwhile, while we're waiting on Color, I'm gonna see what's up in the chat here. So, I apologize if I cannot say this correctly. Lakai Smith, how you doing? Thank you for joining the show. Lakisa Smith, maybe that's how you say it. Apologize. I'm not really good with names. So shout out to you, fins up. Dr. Sean, how you doing?
How about now?
Say something.
Is that better, Ali?
Much better. Yeah.
All right.
Flava
cool.
J, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Heather Long, good morning, everyone. It's been a while. Monday was my birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. Did we do it, Colin?
What was that?
It was Heather Long's birthday. Should we do it?
Oh, we should.
Should. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
The color tried to make sure he drowned on it in the end. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, happy birthday to you, Heather. So thank you for sharing. Suicide Hotline, Michael K. Good morning. The fact checker and lie detector is here, bro. He is hellbent on harassing me about how I said that they were in Detroit back to back. They played the game back to back Detroit. That gives them an advantage because they're used to the field at that point. Right?
He's saying you're lying that they traveled home first.
No. He's saying that they traveled home first, which I already said he was right. They did. I already agreed to that when he mentioned that, and I was like, oh, okay. But it still doesn't change the fact that they played back-to-back games in Detroit. There is an advantage there because you're already used to the field. That was my argument. And
it's not like it's very far from Detroit.
It's like what, a 45-minute flight, if that. You know what I mean? Maybe an hour. Okay, I'll give you an hour. It's like an hour flight. So I don't want to hear this. Jumper. Yeah, it's a puddle jumper. Exactly. I don't want to. It's not like you had to fly like 6 hours and whatever. I mean, listen, your team decided to wait to the last minute to go to England, right? That's not the Jaguars or the league's fault. That's your team's fault. Look what Mike McDaniel did. Mike McDaniel flew the team to California right off the get-go to get acclimated, and then they decided to stay there. They didn't decide to fly back to Florida and come back. They spent 2 weeks in California, right? That's what teams do. That's up to your team to do that, right? Just like how it was up to New England to come to Florida a week in advance to acclimate to the weather, right? And I will say they did perform better than what you guys did against us. So, just saying. So those are some facts for you if you want to lie detect that. All right, Marino's Goat, what's up, man? How you doing? To Michael K says that you never sounded so good, Color.
Thank you very much.
C. Hoffel, how's it going? What's up, man? Heather says thank you, by the way.
Yeah, I should have done it in Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald?
Yeah. Happy birthday to you.
I wonder if I could do an Elvis birthday impression. Yeah.
It's very similar. It's very similar. You just got to go a little more country sounding, like, oh, happy birthday to Heather. Heather Long.
Yeah, Heather. Oh, happy birthday, Heather. Yeah. Something to that effect. All right. So, what's going on, Color? How was your Wednesday? We didn't have a show. That's because I had personal business with work to deal with. So, what's going on with you?
Fairly good. Resting up for the game Sunday.
Yeah. We didn't have a show because I had some work stuff I had to take care of early in the morning. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to have to be tired for what I had to do. So, because I was up so early. So I was like, you know what? We'll put the show on hold for that day. But we got the rest of the show to talk about, so it's gonna be fun.
Yep, just so Michael K would complain that we did it, just so Michael K would complain.
Yeah, I did. Says that please spare his ears that are bleeding. Good morning, Mr. Pog. What's up, my friend? What? Michael K says, be back in about 15 minutes. Have to get my tree stand to rot? I don't know.
What a loon.
I don't know. Maybe he meant the Buffalo Bills. Maybe he meant the Buffalo Bills to rot.
What a ninja poop.
I don't know. Mansa Chill, Finn's Morning. That's right, Finn's Morning. I like it. I'm gonna start saying that right now. So interesting enough, we might have our first official, like, kind of big time interview on top of the tailgate soon, Color.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
El Capitan.
No, not El Capitan. This is going to be an interview done by myself, and maybe I'll have you there as well. So we'll be doing the interview, and we're going to keep it kosher.
Oh, I have to be on good behavior.
You have to be on good behavior. Yes.
Right.
I'm going to reach out, but come to find out, one of somebody I work with, her husband is a big time radio sportscast host in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I want to pick his brain about certain players that are over there now that used to be on the Dolphins.
Stephen A. Smith? Oh no, that's back in his old career.
I don't know, but this is for the Steelers. So, and he also is a big Marino fan because he covers Pittsburgh, college sports as well.
Right.
And that's where Marino went. So I thought it'd be good to, talk some sports and get his perspective on the state of the Steelers and what what they got going on. What does he think of Landon Roberts and Mickey Fitzpatrick, that kind of stuff, and it'd be something different. You know what I mean?
How it is to have a long tenured coach.
Yeah, that too. You know what I mean? But speaking of that, let me just I wanted to check something real quick. And I'm doing that right now.
No checking around here. We gotta pass misinformation just to make Michael K complain.
They play the Patriots in December 7th. And that's what I thought. I thought they were on the schedule for one of our AFC East.
Isn't that like Pearl Harbor Day or something?
I think it's around that time. I think you might be
day
right.
that will live in infamy, December 7th.
So I wanted to inquire what, basically, like, what's his thoughts for going into that game. I don't know when this interview will be. I have to reach out and everything, but I thought that would be a good thing to bring up during that because it has to do with one of our rivals. You know what I mean? What do you think? Yes, maybe so.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. But anyway, yeah. So, did you get your coffee put together, Cully? What are you drinking anyway?
I'm drinking Tim Hortons. I finished up all the 8 o'clock coffee.
I'm finishing up Green Mountains Nantucket, and then I have Green Mountains Colombian next that I'm going to try. I still kind of feel like this Puerto Rican coffee, Casa Cafe Grande, is my favorite, bro.
Yeah?
I still think that's my favorite so far.
Any update on the pepper coffee?
My friend is procuring this week a grinder. He's going to ground the coffee for me, and then we will definitely be trying that out.
He's procuring a grinder, huh? Like they don't just sell them at Publix or something.
I had to wait till he gets paid, you know what I mean?
Oh, right, I got you.
And then in addition, Friday I'm gonna be ordering your goat turd coffee.
Oh, nice.
I just need to get your address so I can have it shipped directly to you.
Who's gonna grind that up?
Oh, I think it comes grounded. I think.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that. It's a good question. I should check that. Come to find out, though, the company that makes the Carolina Reaper coffee, and let me actually pull that up. I want to talk about them a little bit. Here it is. It's a company called Roasty Buds, and they have various different flavors that they sell in regards to coffee, and everything from spicy to cherry glaze to barbecue flavor. called Cherry Glazed Barbecue. They even have something called Mexican chocolate. So interesting. Go ahead.
Is this place owned by some perpetually pregnant lady or something?
I was about to say that, but not quite that way. Yeah, it makes me wonder. I wonder.
Like pregnant 24/7 for the rest of her life. She started a coffee company.
Yeah, I don't know, but they also sell. They have shirts and mugs and stuff. It's called Roasty Buds.
Interesting.
Yeah. Basically, there's 3 different spicy flavors.
I think they've been roasting too many buds, if you ask me.
There's 3 different flavors of the spicy coffee. There's kinda spicy, that has hatch chili peppers, and then there's extra spicy that uses ghost peppers. And then there's extra insane spicy, and that's the Carolina Reaper pepper.
Wow.
And that's the kind that they're getting me to try.
Well, you reaper what you sower.
Yeah. And then they have like tons of different stuff. They've been advertised.
Don't come crying to me when you gotta get plastic surgery on your mouth.
Plastic surgery. Oh man. Well, this isn't the first time I've tried something spicy. I've done a couple of those challenges that are out there, that you can do. So I can handle some spice. The big question is, will I have enough milk to chug afterwards? That's that will be the question.
I think maybe the coffee cream counteracts that.
That is true. Maybe it will counteract it. I don't know. If I'm sitting there,
like,
my lips
I'll take double cream, please.
I'll be talking like this color. Well, the man made difference, because my lips will be numb. I can't even move them, because they'll be so spicy. So, that's basically what will happen. All right, color. It's 6:24 in the morning. Let's go to the next segment here. We got cause for cleats, right? And today's cause for cleats is none other but the Water Boys. That's right. The Water Boys are also known as the Chris Long Foundation, a world that stands up to inequity to ensure access to clean water and education are considered basic human rights that no person lacks. Their mission is bringing together a community of elite athletes and passionate fans. We relentlessly serve our overlooked neighbors, both domestic and international, by creating solutions for clean water and education access. We're the team of athletes and fans that love to win and on and off the field. Our partnership is like no other in pro sports. We come together to fight a battle no one should face, the lack of basic human rights like clean water and education access for millions. Whether it's neighbors down the street or across the world, we're committed to impacting as many lives as possible. Water Boys is the signature initiative of the Chris Long Foundation that is dedicated to provide clean water access to 1 million people worldwide. We do this by uniting professional athletes and fans around the world. One shared cause, providing clean water to communities in desperate need. Water Boys was established in 2015 and was the first formalized program of the Chris Long Foundation. They do provide military support, continuing Chris Long's standing support of our armed forces and military veterans. The Chris Long Foundation events honoring members of the military and their families and making financial contributions to organizations that support and serve veterans. Goes on to say also support of undeserved youth and education equity. Goes on to say that founders Chris and Megan Long see education as the #1 investment we can make for a more just and equitable future for everyone. Led by that belief, the Chris Long Foundation has established 2 programs to support education equity initiatives for undeserved youth. Our first program, Pledge 10 for Tomorrow, was in conjunction with Chris donating all of his 2017 NFL game checks. During Pledge 10, the foundation identified 4 organizations whose mission focused on supporting the academic success of undeserved youth, while also holistically addressing the unique needs of students they deserve. In partnership with Summer Search Boston, Summer Search Philadelphia, College Bound, and the Little Bit Foundation, Pledge 10 raised over $1.7 million for K through 12 support for students in St. Louis, Philadelphia, and Boston. Our second program aimed to address the documented connection between 4th grade reading proficiency and long-term academic success and high school graduation by promoting early childhood literacy. First Quarter for Literacy partnered with United Way of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey, Philadelphia's Read by Fourth campaign, and first book to start home libraries for low-income youth and establish community book nooks in neighborhoods over 12 months. Chris and 6 of his fellow NFL athletes distributed nearly 80,000 and 16,000 undeserved childhood children across 8 states through the program. That's pretty impressive. I will say that. Listen, children reading campaigns is I really support them. My daughter helps provide to one, actually, in Georgia, in Dallas, Georgia. They have like these, like, I don't know what to call them color. Do you remember back in the day, it was basically a vending machine for the local newspaper? You know, you'd throw a quarter in, or like 4 quarters, and you can grab a paper. You know what I'm talking about? I haven't seen them around here. They sell papers on the street here. They don't have them like where there's like a vending machine. You throw a bunch of quarters.
Yeah, they're kind of obsolete nowadays too. When you can get all your online subscriptions and all that, you know.
Yeah. So basically, what they do in her city that she lives in, Dallas, Georgia, they have these books, right? And you can, like, people have books, you know, like laying around. You can donate a book, and you go to one of the machines, and you don't cost anything. You just open it up, you put a book in it, right? And you can take a book to borrow one.
Oh, right.
It's like a trading program.
They have that at the airport too. Reading exchange like that.
Do they really? I don't know.
Except it doesn't cost anything.
I was there one time. I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And she explained to me, kids put books, and adults put books, and people can trade and read books and stuff.
But there's no money involved though at the airport. It's just
that's exactly what
honor
there's no
system.
money involved. It's all free honor system. Exactly. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But shout out to Waterboys. If you want more information about Waterboys, go to waterboys.org. It's waterboys.org/the Chris Long Foundation. You can learn about the programs that they have, what their projects are, work and impact, how to donate, how to sign up. Maybe you want to help, and volunteer. Definitely check them out. Again, that's waterboys.org. So shout out to Chris Long.
Right on.
Yep. So again, we're not affiliated with any of these programs or cause for cleats. We're just here to spread the word. We're not stealing them from other shows on our own network, Michael K. So don't worry about talking about that. So we already know. What is going on? Somebody important. I like that name. I hope Chase is playing this week. Some people think he shouldn't, but I think he's been here long enough. to be able to play. So definitely. All right, let's keep it going, color. So what in the world, right? What in the world's going on these days?
What in the world is going on out here?
Yeah, that is what it's all about. So what in the world? Let's find out what's going on with what in the world right now. First of all, every game we go to, every game that, Color's been to this season, he's heard the chants, those three famous letters, MVP, MVP. We hear it every game, right, Color? Starting from last year into this year, that's what we hear?
Yeah, it's total cringe, but yeah, we do.
Total cringe. Oh, because you just don't want the bad juju. That's why. Color is very what is that called? Were you superstitious, right? Too early. But I don't think this is too early. The guy's number one in virtually everything. Put up more yards than anyone in Miami Dolphin history, for that matter of fact. This is the current odds according to Fox Sports, right? Patrick Mahomes, obviously being the incumbent, has a plus 350 odds to be the MVP, followed by none other than Tua Tagovailoa at plus 380. That's not too far. The odds are almost the same. What do you think? They say Jalen Hurts is plus 600 right now. Josh Allen.
Well, it's a given with all the yardage put up. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I can't believe they have Josh Allen up there. It's not. Listen,
it should be the guy that makes the most money for the NFL. That should be the most valuable player, and arguably Tua would be that guy anyway.
Oh man, that's true. So you're saying it should be financially based. Whoever makes the most money.
Well, what does the NFL value as an organization? They're a profit-driven organization.
That's true.
So to me, the guy that brings in the most eyes, the most haul, the most popularity, the most whatever, for whatever reason, whether it's because he performs really well. Now, obviously, that's going to go hand in hand. You're not going to have people want to buy jerseys of the worst quarterback in the league. Mm-hmm. So it does go hand in hand with performance. I'm not saying it's all about the money. I'm just saying as pertains to the NFL MVP as opposed to a team's MVP. I don't think a lot of people get it wrong. I think we look at it, well, that guy was more important to his team, so he should be the NFL MVP. No, that's not what it's about. It's about who's the most important to the NFL. Who's the most valuable to the NFL.
Yeah,
and what's the NFL value? The NFL values eyes and profit.
Yeah,
so the guy that brings in the biggest haul is the guy that should be the MVP.
Mm-hmm. This is absolutely true. And for me, I kind of think that Mahomes fits that bill because he's most worldwide recognized, right? As of right now.
Sure. Now, if you're talking about numbers being equal, maybe both are in the championship, whatever, and there has to be a tiebreaker. Well, then, yeah, the bigwigs upstairs are petitioning the media to pump one guy or another because they know that financially that who the real deal is. You know what I mean? They know who's selling the most jerseys.
Yeah, that's true. That is true too. I'm kind of disappointed that I don't see Tyreek on this list because I think Tyreek has been he's on pace to break the record. I think he should be at least on the top 10. It doesn't have to be like number 3 or anything, but at least top 10. You know what I'm saying? You already got Christian McCaffrey on here. If we're talking about skill position, you know what I mean?
Again, there's only a finite number of number 10 jerseys sold.
So that's an interesting point. Let's go to the next odds maker. Let's look at coaching. So head coach rankings, according to Fox, these are the top 10 coaches. You have Andy Reid as number 1. Kyle Shanahan is number 2. Mike Tomlin at number 3. Sean McVay at number 4. Followed by number 5, Mike McDaniel. They're saying he is a top 5 head coach. And then you look at John Harbaugh being number 6, Doug Peterson number 7, followed by Pete Carroll, Nick Sirianni, and then Bill Belichick. You know what the difference is between the top 4 coach and Mike McDaniel, besides obviously Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff? You know what the difference is? All those teams have defenses, Color.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's the only difference between them and Mike McDaniel. And not saying that I hate on our defense. Our defense just hasn't fully figured it out like their defense has. You know what I mean? That's basically the difference. Once we figure it out, this might change, actually. We'll see. We'll come back to see what this looks like towards the end of the year. It'll be very interesting. The next one, which I'm going to read an article first. Let me bring it up here. This was kind of a crazy story. David Njoku shares pictures of his facial burns, and they're kind of intense. Injury concerns are our biggest story for Cleveland Browns going into Week 6. Quarterback Deshaun Watson didn't participate in practice Wednesday, but as of almost 8 p.m., the Browns have not released their first injury report for the week. This was on SB Nation. Along with Watson, they found that defensive end Myles Garrett, offensive line Joel Bitonio, and tight end David Njoku were not participating in the midweek practice. While mysteries have surrounded both Watson and Bitonio's injuries, they knew that Njoku suffered burns at home lighting his fire pits. So I guess he got facial burns because of this. And they didn't know how bad they were until he posted this picture, I believe on Instagram or Twitter. And this might be kind of tough for some, but damn. And he really lit that fire pit. I mean, I wonder what they laced it with, or what kind of fire pit it was. You know what I'm saying, Color? You got to be careful.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you got to be careful lighting fire pits. Depending on the type of fire pit, there can be something called there's a flash in the beginning when you first light it. You got to stay away from it. If it's gas, or if you're using starter fluid or something. I don't recommend starter fluid. I recommend something that catches fire slowly, so you don't get the flash right off the get-go. But wow, that was it's very intense. Definitely tell you that. So, in other news, going to our counterparts with the 49ers, NFL is considering fining 49ers tight end George Kittle for his t-shirt he wore Sunday night versus the Cowboys that contained a profane message about the Cowboys. Under the terms of the NFL fine schedule, personal messages carry a fine of $10,927. F Dallas is what his shirt said. Damn. Any thoughts on that, Color?
F Dallas.
In other news, Kyle Brandt, who's a notorious Miami Dolphins hater, and that's the truth. He is a hater. Even though he wants to say that he likes the Bills and he likes the Dolphins, right? He went on to say that his family and him have received threats and hate mail and hate messages and whatnot. First of all, let's just be real about something, people. Just because somebody is a hater, just because they dislike something that you love and you swear behind and whatnot, doesn't give you the right to go after people's families and give threatening messages to kids and people's wives or anything. That shit needs to stop. I'll agree with Kyle Brandt on that. That should never happen. it should not even be in existence. That's the reality. I think that's considered boiling. What am I saying? That's considering bullying. And in addition to that, I also find that kind of tactics are very it's terrorizing, and that's not right. It's bad for little kids' mental state. This is just a freaking game. It's a sport. Yes, we're fans. Yes, we're gonna banter. I talk smack to the Buffalo Bills fans all the time, right? Yes, I do make fun of Kyle Brandt, but I've never gone after his family. I've never threatened his life. I just said it's funny stuff in the sense of that he's sitting there, drooling all over the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. That's why he has Josh Allen on his show on YouTube a lot, right? I made those types of comments. I've never threatened him or anything like that, and that needs to stop. But yes, he does hate the Dolphins, even though he says he likes the Dolphins and he likes the Bills. I don't agree with that, but I don't agree with what people are doing to him at the same time. What are your thoughts on that, caller?
I mean, I thought he was a Bears fan, but I guess I was wrong. I don't know.
No, he's big time Bills fan, bro. Anytime he gets a chance to say that, Bills this, Bills that, he will. He's had Josh Allen on his personal YouTube channel several times. And after the Bills lost to, what do they call it? Not Bills. After the Miami Dolphins lost to the Bills, he went on to say that the Dolphins had no business in the top 5 or whatever, something to that effect. It was something to that effect, and he got a lot of hate for it. Listen, I know we're very passionate. We're on the edge of the seat because this is the season for us, and we're rocking and rolling in a lot of different areas compared to the past. But no matter what the situation is, we could be the league's biggest loser. We could be the league's biggest winner. Doesn't give you the right to terrorize people's lives and attack family members and stuff of people that you disagree with. That's the reality.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and we've seen that not just with our fan base, but other fan bases, and not just with famous people too. You're seeing that with within our own, as well as fans attacking players that don't perform well and stuff. And listen, I love my city, I love my state, but sometimes we just gotta take a chill pill and be like, this is just a game. That's just how I feel. What do you think?
Yep, pretty much. I'm lockstep and barrel with you.
Yep, there you go. You want to really talk some banter? Let's talk about this. Tua wearing an Ohio State sweatshirt on the podium. This is not photoshopped. It is 100% legit. I'll tell you the story. Basically, Ohio State was playing Maryland, where Tua's brother plays, last week. And he made a bet with Jerome Baker and Eli Apple. And obviously he lost. And he had to wear an Ohio State jersey. So don't send hate mail to him just because you don't like Ohio State. Miami fans. So did you guys win this week, by the way, Color? The Hurricanes?
I don't believe so.
No, you lost to Georgia Tech. That was a close game. It was a good game, though. That's a game you guys should have ran away with, personally. My opinion. But, listen, that's your What in the World today. If you have any more What in the World you want to talk about, put it in chat. Now it's time for some football. That's what it is. Time for some football. You all right, Colin?
Yeah, whether we should have ran away with it or not, I mean, still compliments to them for hiring y'all's old favorite referees.
They hired our old favorite referees? Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah. Same crew, probably.
Yeah.
So the sons of that crew.
Oh my God, it's the sons of that crew. Oh my God. In fact, you know what? I'm willing to bet those referees were the Pac-12 referees. That's probably what happened. You know what I mean? Because usually whatever referees it is for a game like that.
It was an ACC game, though.
Yeah, so Pac-12. No, I'm talking about the Ohio State versus Miami.
Oh, yeah.
They probably used
well, that's what happened. That's what happened. They realized that those referees were so bad from the Pac-12 that night that they relegated them to the ACC. And now they were there that night last Saturday for the Georgia Tech game.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. It is what it is, bro. The referees have been so bad lately. Let's be real. I went back and watched. I got informed yesterday that there was a play in the Miami Dolphins game that was missed, and it was a penalty that should have been called prior to Achan's fumble, right? I went back and looked at it. It's legit. The player went out to trip him. So there should have been tripping called before he even fumbled the ball, right? This isn't the first time. This has happened in several games. I want to say it was Kansas City versus Detroit, and the defensive end was offsides like every single snap and didn't get called until like the end of the third quarter when they finally called it. You know what I mean? Last week, Jets versus Broncos. And I hate giving credit to the Jets, but this actually happened. The Jets quarterback, Zach Wilson, was literally slapped in the face during a sack, and they didn't call it. You know what I mean? That's just... The refs are missing things all over. Just like I don't know what happened in the call against Kansas City in the Jets. I don't know. I know that's like a big thing. But the referees have been subject to a lot of blame that's going around the NFL. Would you agree, Color? Have you noticed that as well? Color?
Sorry, wrong button. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they say you want to keep it out of the hands of the ref, and yeah, I've always agreed that applies in professional sports. That's what separates it. I mean, it's professional sports, and the league you play for has made it clear that the human nature, quote unquote, of referees is an obstacle in the game. So you've got to overcome that. But when it comes to the amateur sports like college sports, I just don't know, man. When I understand that Miami should have ran away with that game and this or that or the other, or the coach should have kneeled the ball. I get that, but the footage shows plain as day what it shows. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like you're not talking about a professional sport. You're talking about an amateur sport where the refs do need to take themselves out of it. Professional sports, I can understand. You know, that's your league. You can say, hey, this is another aspect of the game. The referees, you know what I mean? And they're bad calls. Okay, fine. Or they're manipulative calls, whatever you want to, whatever side of the conspiracy coin you're on. But that's professional sports.
See, my thing is
everybody's getting paid whether you win or lose. So, if you want to win, you got to overcome the referees.
Yeah, the reason I'm bringing it up is that it seems like the referees have been playing a big part in deciding some of these games as of late. What do you think it's time to implement a specific type of flag that gives like an instant replay ability for penalties, and you could limit it to only 2 per game or 1 per game or whatever, just like you do the instant replay? I'm just thinking because, like, for example,
well, they tried that for a year and then they abandoned it, and there's no plan to go back to it. So somebody was just speaking on that. Tyreek Hill was just speaking on that.
Oh, really?
I read an article about it.
Oh, I didn't even know they tried it. That's how it didn't even.
2019, I want to say.
Yeah, that was after the pass interference that wasn't called.
Right. That's
right?
why they did it. They did it to placate the fans, basically, and that's the only reason they did it for a year.
That's retarded. They should have kept it because the refs are being subjected every week, bro. Every week there's something that the refs did, and it's like would have made a difference. Now for us, we still won the game, so what's the matter, right? But what happens if this happens in a game we don't win? And then we're on that side of it. That's all I'm saying. So, all right. Let's go on to the next thing we're going to talk about. The Miami Dolphins, right? So what did Wednesday bring us? Breaking down Week 6 injury reports. So this seems to be the thing of every Wednesday. The injury report comes out, and we get to talk about the many injuries that the Miami Dolphins have. This is according to Alan Pupar. The big injury news of the day for Miami Dolphins Wednesday was involved rookie running back Devon Achane being placed on injured reserve, but they also have quite a few players on the first injury report of the week. As previously chronicled here, center Connor Williams, groin, and fullback Alec Ingold each missed practice because of injuries. Those 5 were wide receiver Braxton Berrios, offensive line Robert Jones, Nick Needham, linebacker Jalen Phillips, and running back Jeff Wilson Jr. has a ribs and finger issue. In the case of Jones, Needham, Wilson, they're currently not on the active roster, but they all have been designated to return from an injury list. Jones, Wilson from IR, Nick Needham from PUP. Wilson practiced Wednesday for the first time. Let's see if there's any major report. Color, I'm getting a text I need to address real quick. Can you take over just for a few moments?
Sure.
Thank you.
I have absolutely nothing to talk about, but I will certainly take over. How's everybody doing in chat today? So yeah, injury report. We'll be fine. We're playing the Panthers. Hopefully we get Phillips back, get some sacks on the year for him. And yeah. Oh wait, let me put my glasses on so I can read what y'all are saying. I'm a little subdued this morning. It was a busy evening last night, and I wanted to make sure I got up in time for the show this morning, so I'm a bit tired. But how y'all doing today? We got Chris Smith in chat. Good morning to you too. And it's sad to say, but we need Connor more than we want to admit. Last game, I can't recall a bad snap. So much improvement. Yeah, definitely. Good morning, Mansa. Delusional Patriot fan, welcome to. Good to see you. We thought maybe you took a couple days off. I don't think Tyreek is injured. What's up, Crazy Dolphin? Yeah, Nick Needham. Be good to get him back. See you, Heffel. How you doing? Let's see who else is in here. Adam Sadowski. How you doing, Adam? So I was been looking at the projections lately, and I know everybody hates projections and statistics and probabilities and all that. But I did notice, things are turning for us. We're starting, the projections are actually following what we're doing instead of going against, what we're doing. Now we just need to get a big win against a big team to solidify those projections. But currently, we have a 97.6% chance to make the playoffs, right along with the Kansas City Chiefs at the same probability. Now, when you look at we have a better probability slightly than Buffalo to make it a certain distance. But once that distance is achieved by either team, the Buffalo Bills have a slightly better probability of winning the big show. So, like, once you get to the conference game, our probability of getting there is about 2% less than Buffalo. But our probability of getting to the divisional game is slightly better than Buffalo's. So it's kind of weird. So it turns then, and then you go to probability of making the Super Bowl. Again, Buffalo edges us out by like 2% points. And then, of course, winning the Super Bowl, we now have a 13.8% chance of winning the Super Bowl, whereas the Chiefs and the Bills are hovering right around 15%. Best in the league being the 49ers with a 38% chance of winning the Super Bowl.
Very interesting color.
Yeah, I'll be getting deeper into that probably sometime today or tomorrow.
Thank you for holding it down, color. Sorry about that.
No
I had
problem.
to deal with the text I got. I had to make sure everything was okay.
No problem.
But going into what we were talking about before regarding the injuries, so Phillip continues to deal with the injury that cost him the past 2 games. Head coach Mike McDaniel said before the practice that the team is still working through Jalen Phillips. It's just making sure that, again, we're looking at it for the long haul. So we're daily investigating that. You know, I'm starting to wonder a few things, Color. Why are they practicing this process of evaluating injuries, and we're working through it? There was who was it that had the oblique injury and then came back like 2 games later? There was somebody that had an oblique injury recently, right?
Yeah, that was Phillips.
No, not Phillips. Or was it Phillips?
I mean, Phillips had an oblique injury, but I do know that.
I want to say they came back and played without any problem. So that's what makes me question some of these injuries, right? Goes on to say that Berrios was limited by his knee injury last Wednesday before being a full participant in the next 2 days and playing against the Giants. Williams' absence is a bit worrisome considering he had to miss the Week 4 game at Buffalo because of the injury before returning last Sunday. As for Ingold, he told reporters Monday not to worry about his availability, even though he conducted his media session wearing a walking boot. Along with the injured players, 3 players were listed as having rest days. Xavier Howard did not participate. Raheem Mostert and Tyreek Hill were limited, which I expect because specifically with Mostert being the fact that he's an older player, they probably need him to just get his energy and keep his rest. They don't necessarily need him to be balling out in practice. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Panthers, on the other hand, Carolina Panthers had 3 players miss practice because of injuries, including off-season acquisition Miles Sanders, the running back who came over from the Eagles, is dealing with a shoulder injury. Also not participating Wednesday is safety Xavier Woods, hamstring, and guard Chandler Zavala neck injury. Among the 6 players who were limited in practice were starting defensive lineman Derek Brown, outside linebacker Brian Burns. Also limited were Mr. Burns. Also limited were tackle Taylor Moton, guard Calvin Throckmorton, and guard Austin Colbert and tight end Steven Sullivan. So it sounds like their whole offensive line has some form of an injury and had to be limited. So, yeah.
Well,
cornerback Dante Johnson was a full participant despite a shoulder injury as well. My understanding of the Panthers is that their run defense does not look very good at all, and their secondary is kind of burnt out. That's basically what my understanding is from what I've read on other from other news and media outlets. So I don't know. What do you think about our injury report? Seem okay? Same usual suspects around there? You think
Yeah,
they'll play?
pretty much. And I don't think any of that's gonna stop us from taking care of business. No excuse in it. In other words, none of those can be exploited by the Panthers. So I don't see it as any reason why we would lose a game.
Yeah, Connor Williams, that one, I think he's only on there because he was coming off of a groin injury, and you just
Right.
have it on there just because they're monitoring it and they can't afford to really lose them, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my opinion. And so I think that he's the guy that will probably remain on there just for quite several games. Who else was on there? Barrios was on there. Barrios is on there, but this also comes the week that we have Chase Claypool, right? 6'4", 230 pounds. The guy is massive when you look at all of our other receivers. You know what I mean? I really do think they are going to use him in the run game. It'll be very interesting on what they do with him. I think this could be a receiver that you could see play a much bigger role than what we've seen from Chosen or even Barrios or River Craycraft when he was when he was not injured. I think he could play a decent role, specifically in the red zone color. I think that the red zone would be a good place for him, and the run game as well. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody said they could see him being that
Big body receiver, good blocking, I'm sure.
Yeah, they said.
I mean, even if he just got in a linebacker's way, it'd be something.
Yeah. I've heard that people feel that he's going to be that Gesicki style receiver to go up for those 50-50 balls or contested catches and stuff. That's true. That it could be that kind of role as well. We'll definitely have to see. And he does run 4.4 speed. That's the other thing. He is pretty fast, If he could come back and be like the guy he was for Notre Dame, I'll be very impressed, to be honest. Very impressed. So
good football name.
Chase Claypool, yeah, I like the name. So, do you have what jersey do you own? Who's the
Charles
jersey?
Clay.
Charles Clay. That's right. Yeah. Claypool. That's a good name. I agree.
Better than Clay. It's better than Clay Chasepool.
Clay Chasepool. Oh, that's funny. I see what you did there, Color. That's funny. Trying to see if there's anything else we want to discuss on these articles. No, because we already talked about this stuff, so we don't need to talk about that. Here's a good opinion piece by Omar Kelly. Tua gaining play calling power is the next step in his QB evolution, right? At some point, our children no longer want to hold our hand and we walk them to school. Eventually, there's no longer a need for an escort. Instead, preferring to wait for the school bus on their own or making the journey solo. That's the natural evolution of parenthood. And during last Sunday's 31-16 win over the New York Giants, Mike McDaniel and Miami's Dolphins head coach experienced the maturation of Tua. Tua Tagovailoa metaphorically waved goodbye to McDaniel on the first drive of the second half, while the Dolphins were forcing a 3rd and 4 from Miami's 31-yard line. McDaniel called a play Tagovailoa seemingly didn't like, and the fourth-year starter, the top-rated passer of the 2022 season, and the number 2-rated passer after 5 games this season, chose to ignore his coach instructions and call his own play. I misheard him, Tagovailoa said with a coy laugh, when McDaniel saw the Dolphins' skill position players lining up incorrectly. his first thought was to call a timeout. Then once I saw people moving with conviction, I was like, hey, let's see what play caller Tua has for us, said McDaniel, whose offense set at NFL record for yards produced 2,568 in the first 5 games, surpassing the 2000 St. Louis Rams. Tua dials up Tyreek. The play called out all-pro receiver Tyreek Hill one-on-one against a rookie cornerback who had just sprinted 40 yards across the field to line up against the speedster. That's not a joke, bro. This guy came running across the field just to line up against Tyreek. How do you expect that person to cover him? You know what I mean? The fact that we were able to pinpoint that out in this this play is kind of impressive, to be honest. When the ball was snapped, Giants safety Xavier McKinney bit on the underneath route, which allowed Tagovailoa to let a deep pass to Hill sail through the air. An end result was a 69-yard touchdown and provided a 24-10 lead. He said a play, and I told him I misheard him, and I was looking at it. I was like, let's just run this play, Tagovailoa said after the game in a braggadocious manner, which is out of character for the former Alabama standout. I will say that is, to be honest, he is right about that. But Tagovailoa seemingly wanted to share the next step in his evolution as an NFL quarterback with the world. I don't think I should be saying that was the wrong play call. I called the wrong play, Tagovailoa said. I called my own play. And that play happened to provide a peek into Tagovailoa's maturation, which McDaniel has praised since the offseason program. Sunday was the first time he had disobeyed his coach, and it paid off. It was like a pitcher shaking off a call from his catcher. A big moment into his journey. McDaniel likely wanted to go conservative, aiming for the first down, and Tagovailoa was the NFL's highest rated passer on third down since 2022. Wanted the Giants' jugular. Yeah, did. That's one of the moments that is the story of his journey. That's the indicative of where he's at, McDaniel said. It's hard to visualize what play he's actually called because you're just thinking of the 9 people are messed up. That's the type of stuff that you can't manufacture to be able to have the wherewithal to say, you know what, let's just put it in mine and Tyreek's hands. I'm just very proud of him. McDaniel has called Tagovailoa a football savant. So this is a logical progression for the quarterback who is the trigger man behind the Dolphins' historic offense. Legendary quarterback Dan Marino had play calling ability under Don Shula, and their level of trust in one another was what made Marino a record-setting passer. The play calling powers were eventually taken away from during the Jimmy Johnson era, which was the epicenter of Marino and Johnson's relationship getting frosty. Quarterback gaining play calling powers comes down to trust, and Tagovailoa seemingly has from McDaniel, who expects Tagovailoa to call even more plays in the huddle, which is something that often occurs with NFL elites. That is pretty impressive. The guy disobeyed his coach and called his own play. And it is kind of interesting also finding out that Dan Marino, who had the ability to do it during Don Shula's era, didn't have that under Jimmy Johnson. I mean, I don't understand why Jimmy Johnson didn't trust Dan Marino. I mean, it's Dan Marino. What do you think, Colin?
Yeah. What was that again? I'm sorry.
We're talking about the trust in quarterback in the coach. So, for example, Mike McDaniel has trust in Tua now to make those calls, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
in comparison, hold on real quick. In comparison, back when Dan Marino was playing under Don Shula, he had the ability to call plays all day long, no problem, right? But under Jimmy Johnson took that ability away. Do you think, it's kind of interesting, why would Jimmy Johnson not trust Dan Marino? You know what I mean? You also find out rumors that he wanted to trade Dan Marino away. Why? Why didn't he have trust?
Well, that has to do with personal issues. But as far as Tua goes, I mean, that's what I have been expecting Tua to do. You know what's right. You know what can work. You know what's comfortable for yourself. Don't be afraid to do it. What can go wrong? You score a touchdown. What is the coach going to say? You both are professionals. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. This is absolutely true. I'm glad to see this too. I'm glad to see that he can take matters in his own hands. I said it all last season that at some point we need Tua to carry a game on his shoulders, and he's starting to do that more often this season than we've seen it in the past. You know what I mean? At some point, I need to see him actually, do what you got to do type of style of playing. You know what I mean?
Yep, and that's not on the arm wrist, on the wristband.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's basically what I need to see more of. Let's see. Trying to see if there's any other thing good to talk about. So the big news yesterday, unfortunately, and this is something that Alan Papar put out. We saw our star rookie running back, or future offensive rookie of the year, personally. Achane was placed on the IR. The rookie running back was placed on the IR after getting injured in Week 5. The Miami Dolphins will be out without their prized rookie running back for at least a month. So he'll be out for at least 4 weeks. The team has placed Devon Achane, the second leading rusher in the NFL, on injured reserve because of a knee injury he sustained in the 31-16 victory against the New York Giants on Sunday. This means that Achane will be out for the games against the Carolina Panthers, Philadelphia Eagles, New England Patriots, and State Chiefs, which will be followed by the Dolphins bye week. The first game of which Achane will be eligible to return is in Week 11 against the Las Vegas Raiders at Hard Rock Stadium, November 19th. While head coach Mike McDaniel said Monday he didn't know exactly when Achane was injured, video of his final carry of the game showed his right leg getting twisted, and the 2023 third-round running back grimacing before he jogged off the field. Achane was running in his left and cutting on his right, and when he dragged down by defensive lineman Leonard Williams, using the full weight before landing on his leg. While he didn't carry the ball again, Achane was on the field for the Dolphins' final third down play when Tua Tagovailoa threw an 8-yard completion to Raheem Mostert on the 3rd and 6 to allow Miami to kneel and run on the clock. Achane lined up in the slot and left the sidestep toward the sideline before Tua threw Mostert the right flat. Achane lining it up as a rookie. Some kind of injury seemed the only way to slow down Achane, who has emerged as one of the leading contenders for the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year after only 3 games, not counting his 1 carry against New England in Week 2. Against the Giants, Achane finished the game with 151 rushing yards on 11 carries, including 76-yard touchdown in the second quarter, giving him 460 yards in only 3 games, plus 1 carry. The second highest total in the NFL behind only Christian McCaffrey, 510 yards. The Dolphins' record for rushing yards by a rookie is 1,116 and belongs to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who did it in 1996 after arriving, like Achane, a third-round pick. Do you think that Achane can still, one, break Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's running back rookie record, or do you think he could still contend for Rookie of the Year? What do you think?
I mean, it's going to be a little tough missing 4 games, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
So if he comes back,
does have the extra 17th game. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, if he comes back week 11, and let's say he at least puts up 100 plus yards in each one of those games, it's very possible. You know what I mean? That would put him over the rookie record, to be honest. At least for the Miami Dolphins. So he'd break that record. What the offensive rookie of the year record would be, that'd be a good question. How many touchdowns does he have already? I want to say it's like
not
5
sure.
or 6 maybe. Hold on, let me see. Because he had what, 3 or 4 against the Broncos? Actually, I'm gonna check this out real quick. So he has. I'm actually gonna use Pro Reference because I don't like ESPN stats, to be honest. Here we go. He has 5 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns. So he has a total of 7 touchdowns already. You know what I'm saying? So he has a big jump already on the touchdowns. It's the yardage.
Right.
Overall, let's see. Here we go, yards. So advance. Just trying to see what his total yardage is so far. Here we go. He has about 527 yards total. Yeah, yards to scrimmage, 527 yards and 7 touchdowns, Color.
It's crazy, man.
He could virtually maybe triple that by the end of the season, even though he's losing 4 games, or 4 weeks, I should say, right? He could literally triple that and have that many more touchdowns, if based on what he's on pace for. Not saying he would do it, but he's on pace based on what we've seen in the first five weeks. You know what I mean? So it'll be very interesting what happens. But yeah, that's all I got to really talk about today. There's really not much else to talk about. You know, Chase Claypool, I think, is going to have a big game if he plays on Sunday. What else you got? You got anything for us, Color? What do you got coming up?
I do not. Just a deeper dive on these projections I'm still trying to work on. But other than that, nothing really else. I mean, it's a pretty simple week this week. Mm-hmm. You know, Carolina Panthers, it's right out in front of us. They're a far inferior team, and we all know what we need to do to beat them, which is execute our game.
Somebody is important. He pointed out a good point. He didn't play week 1 at all. He was the healthy scratch, right?
Right.
And so he did that in 4 games, technically.
Right.
So shout out to Achan in the 4 games. If he gets the last what is that, 7 or 8 games or whatever that we have, after when he comes back, I think he could break the rookie record that Miami has. But I definitely think he's a contender for offensive rookie of the year, based on the pace and how much scoring he was doing. He already has the touchdowns. It's the yardage he has to make up for. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that you could definitely you could do some damage there. It's pretty interesting. I don't know what Michael K is talking about. Go ahead with what you're saying, Color. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm pretty much wrapped up. That's pretty much all I have.
Yeah, I don't really got anything much. What do you guys want to talk about? Put it in the chat. Whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm looking on X to find out if there's any up-to-date news or anything. So Miami Dolphins have the NFL's 21st most difficult remaining strength of schedule via Tankathon. They have Philadelphia, Kansas City, Buffalo, Dallas. Those are the top remaining opponents. After that, it's pretty smooth sailing. But are you worried about Dallas at all, Color? I'm not.
Yeah, not really.
I kind of, based on what we've seen other teams do with Dallas, I kind of think they got kind of exposed a little bit. What do you think?
Well, they can be beat, and I don't think they can keep up with our offense. So, again, a lot of these games for us just come down to us executing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why the projections are so good.
Yeah, Dolphin Don says Achan is a Chris Johnson type talent. With his speed, definitely. With the speed. I don't know. Do you kind of think? Do you agree with what Dolphin Don is saying? Is he a Chris Johnson type talent?
Very similar.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's more like Emmitt Smith. He only gives up 20 pounds to him.
Oh yeah, Chris Brooks is not going to the practice squad. Yeah, I don't think he goes back to the practice squad either. Specifically to the fact that you got you have an issue at running back. There's obviously an injury issue, so you need to make sure that Jeff Wilson isn't going to be back right away anyway. He has like 3 weeks before he has to be called back up. So though they've activated him from the injury report, he technically is and is not on the 53-man roster yet, right? Is that he has that like 3-week window? Am I right about that, Color?
I have no idea, bro, because I don't see really why that would be a 7-week turnaround, and I've never heard of that.
No. Let me explain, because it got explained to me, and it makes sense now. So basically, when you're on injured reserve, right, and they are bringing you off of it, they'll bring you off of it, and you have 3 weeks in which you can practice with the team, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have 3 weeks to officially put you on their 53-man.
So you got like a practice squad buffer where you got an extra practice squad player, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And then basically what it is, at any point during that 3 week, they can add you to the 53-man roster. So it could be after 1 day, for example, coming back. They could say, we'll bring you on, or we'll just bring you fully on without the 3 weeks, right?
Right.
If they don't bring him back between that 3 week period, he automatically goes back to the injured reserve and he's out for the rest of the season.
I see.
That's how that works. So I was thinking that there's 3 weeks you have to wait before you can play your first game. That didn't make sense. You know what I mean? I was like, what? That didn't make sense. That's what I thought it was at first, but someone explained it to me. So, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. If you don't make the if you don't get on the 53-man roster by the 21th day, you go back to the IR. Exactly, Michael K. Exactly.
Did you just say the 21st day?
21 day.
I thought you said the 21st day.
I may have said that. I'm tired, bro. It's what, 7? I've been up since 5 a.m. Give me a break. Kidding, Colin.
That's kind of funny, though, bro.
It is kind of funny. It is kind of funny. I know. Oh man. Oh,
that's like saying that the 22nd day.
22.
The 22nd.
Yeah. 21st day is the date what I meant to say. Oh man. Let's see what else they got. Let me see what else they put in the chat that you want to talk about. Oh, it's El Capitan. What is going on?
Good morning, El Capitan. What up, guys?
You gotta do it with Michael K's voice. Hold on. Good morning, El Capitan. How you doing today? Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the pisser.
Yeah, I gotta go train the lizard.
How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's good. Just heading into work today. Getting back in the swing of things for the last 2 days of the week.
How was the rock concert?
Rock concert was great. We had a blast.
Mm-hmm.
The band.
What hotel were you at? That was a nice hotel, man.
We were at the Hyatt in Lauderdale. It was really nice. Great hotel.
Very impressed.
Yeah, it was very nice. Got a sweet deal on it. Wasn't that expensive. We had a blast, man. The band we went to see, it's called Landmarks. They're from France, and they're never over here. We got to watch them, and then afterwards, my wife and kids were able to meet the lead singer and get some pictures and stuff like that. So that was really dope. We had a blast. Yeah, man, we had a blast.
Cruz Ruiz, shout out to you, man. He's saying, "Stop yawning, Ali. I'm at work reading emails." Trust me, when I go to work at 9, I have to read 1,000 emails too. I know your pain. I'm sorry.
Oh man, I've got 178 emails in my box right now that I gotta read in the last 2 days. So it's killing me. But yeah, we had a good time. It was good family fun. It's hard to do it during the week like that, but we couldn't pass up the opportunity because again, the band we wanted to see, they're on their way back to France right now. So who knows when they'll be back.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in chat. I see everybody. Mr. Paul, how's it going, buddy? Don, Joe, Vicken, somebody important. Salute everybody. But yeah, we had a blast, man. We had a great time. The kids, it was their first concert. They loved it. We'll be going to more as a family. Be the new family affair. My wife and I, that's like our thing. We go to concerts. So now that the kids are getting older, it'll be the family thing.
It's pretty dope, man. Pretty dope. I can't wait for my kids to get old enough to do things like that. I want to take my kid to Dolphin games, to be honest, and tailgate and stuff.
Well, we've gone to the Dolphins game. I brought them all 2 years ago to the Jets game. They like it. It's fun. It's not like the concerts though. You know what I'm saying? It's just
no. Concerts are much different.
Yeah, you get a little bit more involved in the concerts. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, she's like, I want to crowd surf. I want to go to the mosh pit. It wasn't the right spot for the crowd surf. I mean, I went into the mosh pit, but I'm not taking her in there. It was a smaller venue, so it's a little bit more dangerous. Even though it seems like the most roughest people, they're not. They're the nicest, most courteous people on earth. Very mannered. Everybody that was there was so stoked that there was some young kids in there for the metal show. They were all real jazzed up. And everybody, I am going to the game this weekend. The TFTG family will be there in full force, minus Crypto, who won't be able to make. He made it to the last week game, but everybody else.
Going?
Huh?
KP is still going.
KP is still going. He's he acquired a different ticket, so Color's the beneficiary of that. So Color will be there.
Yeah, we got to talk about what the final plans are on if we're
That's exactly right, Ali. We gotta have a team meeting. We need to figure this out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you want to do that today or tomorrow? Wouldn't you want to have a team meeting to figure this out?
I was thinking Friday. We'll do it because then nobody's got work Saturday. You know what I'm saying? We can figure it all out.
Yeah, put in a team chat. No problem. No problem.
And then we'll figure this out. We're gonna be there in full force. I want to see if I can get Crypto privies so he can call the game while we're all there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That would be dope. I know Crypto can call a game. I mean, let's be real. Crypto can do anything. So, that would be pretty awesome.
Definitely, it would be awesome. But it's gonna be fun. So if you got anybody going to the game, come check us out. Come hang out with us. TFTG will be there in full force. We'll have a beer or something together. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we're We're going to be in full on, there'll be plenty of video coming out, pictures, all kinds of good stuff like that. Anybody who wants to meet anybody from the team, please come by, say hi. We'll be out there. You're not going to, we're a ragtag group of fucking misfits for sure. You won't be able to miss us. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
The Avengers ain't got shit on this.
Yeah, right. They don't got shit because we got the Infinity Stones. That's right.
That's right. So yeah, it'll be fun. We're gonna have a good time. There's been a lot of talk this week about Chase Claypool. Do you guys really think they're gonna get him involved so early?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be necessarily in the passing game color or El Cap. I think it's gonna be primarily in the run game. He's gonna play a similar role to what Robbie Anderson or Robbie Chosen, whatever he goes by now. Kind of like what he does, except there's going to be a lot more blocking involved. I think that's what's going to happen at first. You might see him in a red zone play here and there.
The buddy's got a monster body, 6'4", 220, I think, 225.
He was standing next to Waddle and who's the wide receiver coach? What's his face?
Wes Welker.
Wes Welker looks like a monster looking down at them.
I know, dude. The guy is huge. Big body wide receiver, Calvin Johnson-esque with that size and speed combination. Really, if this guy, who by all accounts was just extremely unhappy in Chicago, by all accounts, we should see. I'm hoping for a Deebo Samuel role. Oh, he's 238. Somebody, goodness gracious, guy's huge.
He's 6'4", 230 pounds, something like that.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, I think this guy is going to be the Deebo Samuel role. We saw Eric Ikuzama get used in that way here and there. Just putting him with his size and speed in an offset split back formation back there with Mostert is going to be, look, you're going to look at a formation where, Alec Ingold and Durham Smythe are lined up in the tight end positions out of the 12 personnel. And then there'll be a split back formation with a wide receiver and a running back in the backfield. It's a lot to give teams to think about. And to me, it's wise, just like what the Dolphins did against the Giants. They showed a lot of different alignments and a lot of different packages, personnel packages. And if we continue to do that this week, which I expect them to do, and against the Carolina Panthers, come when we go to Philadelphia, they're going to have to look at all of these personnel changing and formations. It's a lot to work on. And that's what I think Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins offense are doing bit by bit by bit. They're getting live fire exercise on teams we should be handling for personnel packages that later in the year, if you didn't do homework for weeks on the Dolphins, you're not going to realize that, hey, Tyreek Hill and Chosen Anderson are in the backfield right now. You know what I'm saying? Something stupid like that. And it's
wait, whatever do you mean, Capitan? You mean we shouldn't be putting up 70 points on everybody?
So I think there's, Dolphins fans, there is an amount of them that are becoming spoiled that we should be dog walking everyone at every given moment. I don't think that that's a smart and wise thing to do. Sets yourself up for failure when you do lose a game against an opponent that you should be, which is bound to happen. Everybody drops one to somebody they didn't expect to. But also take advantage. If you're beating up on a team and you're out 2-3 scores and your defense and offense is just having their way with them, get some of these other guys, the Chris Brooks, the Channing Tindalls, the Cameron Goods, get the other guys involved in rotation so these packages they'll have their timing, their footing, their all this stuff, because later in the season, when guys are nicked up, which we're seeing it already with Devon A-Chain, it's just a smart thing to have live snaps done in these packages. And I feel like, to me, with the Devon A-Chain injury, I don't think it is nearly as bad as they're making it out to be. I think it's probably something he could have made it back for the Philly game. If we didn't have any running back, if Jeff Wilson wasn't coming back and we were trying to sign a guy off the street, I think he wouldn't be on IR. I think he would probably play the Philly game. But because of, we have some depth and we have Wilson coming back, I believe that they've done this to be wise. Hey, kid's doing great, putting up a lot of yards and a lot of miles on there. Let's go ahead and be wise with him and hold him out a couple of weeks for his own sake. So in the latter part of the season, in the second half of the season, he's still fresh. They're to me, it's almost like they're curving that rookie wall that we would expect to see in mid-December, where all the rookies hit that wall. So I think there's some real gamemanship going on with personnel and snap count, and how they want to be. What Mike McDaniel's talked about for 2 years now, you want to be getting better as the season goes along and hitting your stride in late November and the month of December. I feel like they're really smartly doing stuff. Like Jalen Phillips, I feel like he was a healthy scratch last week. I feel like he could probably play this week, and who knows, maybe they keep him out again just to have him healthy for that Philadelphia game. I would rather them go ahead and get him some snaps, because I don't like a guy coming in cold like that. But who knows? I mean, also think about it in the same aspect on the offensive side, what you do, forcing the other team to watch a bunch of film on all these different personnel packages you do on offense. And the opposite end can be true for defense. They've got no film on Jalen Phillips as of recent. If they roll him out for that Philadelphia game, yeah, they'll know what he's doing or know who he is, but how much film are they going to watch on him? What new things can Fangio do on a stunt move or drop him back into coverage or something like that he hasn't done yet this year to be on film? So
that's a really good point. So
I feel like the Dolphins are really thinking ahead of the game.
Yeah, I kind of think they are too. They are kind of thinking ahead. They've already talked about it a little bit, and it's starting to come about in what media thinks and whatnot. I do think that it's more of making that. I think that's kind of what happened last season. Is we really splurged early on. And with this depth, you want to make sure that you have enough. I want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to make sure that your team is prepared for that December push. You don't want to exert all your energy and everything you got in the tank in the beginning half of the season. You got through the first couple games, great. Now you got to manage it in the proper way to save your reserves and everything for December, because December is when football really starts. That's when it really starts, to be honest.
Well, we have 5 games in December this year.
Mm-hmm.
We play 5 games because of the way the month breaks out. The first game is I think it's on the 3rd or 2nd of December. But we have 3 out of those 5 games are home games. So we just, as long as we take care of business at home, we'll be golden. I feel like we're going to go into December with, right now we only have 1 loss, probably get 2 more losses in between now and then just to be on the safe side. That could even be dropping the Germany game and the Philadelphia game, and then us handling our business all the way through into December. if we only lose one of those December games, again, I mean, dude, that would be only 4 losses for the Dolphins heading into January against the Bills. I mean, damn, it might not even. I don't know. I think the Bills and the Dolphins both find themselves with 12 wins, a winner-take-all scenario, and depending on what the Chiefs do, the winner of the Dolphins-Bills game, the final week of the year in Miami, can come down to who wins first round bye week as the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, this second half of the season is going to be really interesting. Actually, not even second half, right from the middle to the second half, this is going to be really interesting because there's so many storylines going to be playing out for the Miami Dolphins. You have, for example, you have the Kansas City versus Miami. That's a big matchup because you have who the incumbent MVP is versus the MVP that everyone that thinks is an MVP is Tua. And you're going to see if they can win, against the Super Bowl champions, right? That's a big storyline of its own. And then you look at the Eagles game. There's massive storyline. Is not only are they a Super Bowl runner-up, their quarterback was the quarterback for Alabama back when Tua was there, and there's some controversy there, right? And then you have Vic Fangio going up calling defensive calls while the other team has Vic Fangio's protege. Desai is their defensive coordinator.
Let's not forget, Vic Fangio was there last year as a consultant as well during their playoff run.
So that game has a lot of storylines and also a lot more what's the word, banter that can go along with it, because of those things. Who gets the last
layered content for sure.
Yeah. So there's that, and then you have the Dallas game. The Dallas game is going to be big, primarily the fact that it's a team, that's winning big on the NFC side of things, very similar to what the 49ers were last season. And it'd be really good to see us actually win that game against a big, tough opponent, especially one that has a defense that really can really bring it, to be honest, when they want to. So, but ultimately, I think the second half or the middle to second half of the season is really when football really starts for us. That's, there's a lot of storylines in all those games, and we continue to do it. That's a big question. It'd be really interesting.
I'm wondering about, and I mean, we're looking ahead here, but we play the after Philadelphia, we come home and to a New England team that's absolutely reeling right now. We all predicted that this was the year that Bill Belichick was going to put more losses in the loss column than wins, that this was going to be a bad year for them. They're shaping up to be a team that'll be lucky to get 6 wins at this point. I mean, damn, they're going to be underneath the Jets. They'll be last in the division if they keep this up, which is odd. It's not like they've got major injuries or, key positions. They're just a bad football team. But when we do that game, I'll be interested to see, does Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins say, you know what? We're going to get an early jump on the Germany thing. We're going to fly out to Germany Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. I would fly to Germany. I'd take the red-eye, or leave Tuesday in the morning, give the guys a day of rest over there. There's only so much game planning you're going to be able to get done on a long freaking game like that. I give the Dolphins a little bit of the edge because we have a little bit more veteran presence on our offense compared to a lot of the young guys that they have there on the Chiefs, who I don't know how it affects them. Maybe they show up, maybe they don't. That'll be a real interesting game because, I mean, has the NFL played a game in Germany anytime recently? I can't remember the last time.
Tampa Bay played last season. I want to say I forget who they played, but they did play a game in Germany. Yes, that started like last season. And also, speaking of games being played elsewhere, so the NFL is looking to expand where they play worldwide, beyond Europe. There's rumors that next season we could see a game in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. That could be a location, and even Japan and places like that. So
yeah, Japan is one I'm interested in because I know the Japanese love football. They love football. It would be great to see. Now, to me, it would only make sense if like the LA Chargers and like the Niners went up against each other over there. You know what I'm saying? That would be the best way to go about it. Let use some of these West Coast teams, but
they do have a very big Japanese and even Asian culture in California, so that does make sense. That whole West Coast area from Seattle all the way down. So Seattle could be there too. That could be one as well.
Yeah,
that is true. You're absolutely right about that. San Francisco, I could definitely see.
Yeah, again, we're about a decade away from full-on international football leagues. I think 10 years from now, they're gonna have to expand the rosters. They're gonna have to expand the leagues, the divisions, and teams will have to. Every team will have to play an international game. Teams will also, like the Jags or whomever, there'll be like divisions where your home is abroad and domestic. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that. I can only imagine that the NFL is doing a lot of studies on all this stuff. But they're going to have to. The best way to alleviate the workload for these guys that are doing it is to expand the rosters, expand the cap, and allow it to, dictate where you can take rest. You can give these guys rest before or whatever. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is being interesting. And I want to point this one thing out real quick. Our owner, Stephen Ross, he's kind of started a trend. I've seen that starting to expand on the international level. Owners are looking beyond just their main sport of the team that they own. It's no longer just the Miami Dolphins that our owner has invested in. We have the tennis courts to have the U.S. Open at, for example. We have the F1 racetrack around the stadium. And now owners abroad in England are looking at it the same way. I know Todd Bowley, who owns part of the Dodgers and has investments like with the Lakers and stuff. He owns Chelsea Football Club, and he's looking at rebuilding that stadium with the same type of concept, having multi-sport complexes. You know what I mean? And with that also becomes ownership of multiple teams as well. So that is kind of like where I see things are going, and I think the NFL is studying that. So you're absolutely right. I think they are looking at it in different ways and seeing where the investments are being made and what's the profitability as well. But it's pretty interesting how Stephen Ross started it here, and now it's starting to expand. You know what I mean?
And yeah, somebody important makes a good point. Two bye weeks. If there's like if they put, say, 8 more teams into the NFL with teams that, and also you got to look at these cities, because these international teams will have to have domestic homes as well. So like new cities and new states will get teams to split around, and having, say, like a 24-week season with 2 bye weeks and a 60.
Oh, Cap. We've lost El Cap, I guess. He must hit somewhere where there's a dead spot.
Yep, plenty of them up there.
We got about 10 minutes left. Anybody has a question, put it in the chat. We'll be glad to answer it. Trying to see if there's anything anything else I see here. Joe Rist, what's up? Joe Rist says if they go to South America, he's going. Yeah, that would be an awesome game. I'd love to go to be honest. I'd never been to Brazil, so that'd be fun. What's up, Shake Money? I see you there. Let's see here. I'm reading some of the stuff in the chat color. There's someone in the chat named Natural Muscles 0917 says that we kill fish here. Well, technically, truth be told, dolphins eat fish, and dolphins are not a fish. So, So what's going on, Color? You got anything? Last thoughts? Final thoughts on anything?
I do not. Pretty quiet day.
Yeah. Joe Riss says he's headed to Peru for the following week's games. That's cool, man. Enjoy Peru. I know quite a few people from there. Mr. Polk says no teams in the Dakotas. All right. I mean, outside of college teams, I don't think they have like the market for a NFL team. Trying to think cities that with cities in other states that could have an NFL team. Utah City or Salt Lake City could have is what I meant to say. Could have a team.
St. Louis.
St. Louis definitely needs a team. Dude, when your XFL team sells out a stadium at 32,000 seats, that's yeah, you need to have an NFL team at that point. Who else? Could Portland get a team? That'd be interesting. There's Portland. That'd be really interesting. It'd be interesting to see who gets teams. Montana. I could see Montana getting a team. I could see that. So, my final thoughts are. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say be a lot of coastal cities.
Yeah, coastal cities probably. Look, my final thoughts is this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's football. Let's be happy. It's fall, right? We got Halloween coming up. You know, we got the Dolphins. We got NFL teams. Basketball starting to kick up. Everything's just, it's a great time to be a sports fan. That's all I'm going to say. You know, all this stuff going on. I can't wait. What's going on with baseball? Why don't you update us on baseball, Color? I don't watch baseball, so what, you know what's going on?
I don't watch it either.
I figured you're a St. Louis fan.
Yeah, but they're not. Their season's over, so that's as far as I watch it.
Yeah. Maine
the Marlins crapped out, so there's nothing to really talk about for baseball. Not unless you're I don't even know who's in it.
Joe Riss says they need to trash the team in Buffalo and get a new team. So they'll get reissued one.
Yeah, that would work.
What I do think is, I think they should add 8 more teams to the NFL, but it would be an international league only. So you'd get international teams. They would play out a season basically amongst themselves. Maybe 1 or 2 teams will fly over, to add to their season. So I don't know. And then we could incorporate them in the playoffs. What do you think, Colin?
I mean, they already tried that. It died.
Miss Fins, no, this isn't live. We're not live at all. Live. No, we're not live. We're robots. This is the AI speaking. Artificial intelligence.
Oh, no, this ain't live.
I love you, Miss Fins. I'm messing. So.
She's like, Color's got a contest to come visit.
Yeah. Miss Fins, it's like, okay, thanks. Oh, man. Doesn't she have her 1,000 follower giveaway? Right?
Yeah.
Check out Miss Fins after the show. We'll plug her in. So make sure you check out her show. Make sure you're in the chat. Make sure you subscribe. Hit like and subscribe over there. Who has extra tickets to the NFL game and no friends to share it with? Sounds like you. No, I'm just kidding. Are you coming down, Michael K? Is that what you're asking? You want to get a Buffalo Bills game ticket in Miami?
Come down this weekend. There might be an extra one.
That would be really interesting, finally meeting Michael K. Be honest. Ugh. Let's see here. Alaska, do they get a team? I don't know. I think let's see, they have the LA Rams. Maybe Oakland gets another team. I could see that happening. San Diego needs a team. They got that new sports complex they're building, in fact. So Michael K is saying that he's trying to get down by January for a couple of months. So what you're saying is that you're technically a snowbird. What you're saying, sort of. Winter games there would be insane in Alaska. That would be insane, Color.
Why would anybody find that interesting?
They said it would be insane, is what he said. Insane.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it.
That being said, would that mean that most of their games would be night games technically? Because isn't the nights there longer at certain times of the year?
I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. They don't really have a day for a while.
Yeah.
It's like dusk all the time.
Yeah. Well, it is that time. It is 8 a.m. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. This is Top of the Tailgate with Color and myself. We'll be here tomorrow morning and Friday, right? So don't miss us or be square. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Check out the other shows tonight. Let's see. What do we got? We got crypto going today, right? Thursday?
If I can make it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got crypto, we got the drive time, smoke lounges. Check out TFTG. Turn on the notification bell, right? But with that, you got any final thoughts, Color?
I do not, sir.
You do not. All right. Well, with that, fins up, everybody. We out.